So The Lion King is about a young lion cub who ends up losing his dad, ends up having a lot of emotional baggage, runs away, ends up finding a meerkat and a warthog who teach him that, hey, life is just Hakuna Matata. And then he decides that, oh no, I'm better than this and I need to go home and fight my uncle back for the kingdom that I was supposed to have to begin with. You know, so yeah, I love this movie. This movie was, it was such an underdog when it was in development, but when it came through, it was the biggest thing, and was the biggest thing up until Frozen for 20 years.
I was one of the very first lucky few ones who owns the very first home media release of this on VHS. And I watched it so many times that my dad threatened to throw it away if I watched The Lion King anymore. So I literally stopped watching it for a period of like 4 years because I'm like, not The Lion King? Yeah, it's that good.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good that even 20 years later, they're still making another TV show about the characters of The Lion King.
It's true! Also talking about the Broadway play, I mean, this has been going, first off, so inventive, so amazing. And the numbers show.
Beautiful. The
numbers show, because this is one of the highest grossing Broadway plays, if not the highest, of all time.
And it's only been around since 1997. I mean, Les Mis has been around, you know, since 1985 and is one of the highest, and Phantom of the Opera. But Lion King has a whole decade, you know, later, and still it's way up there. This is one that everyone needs to see. And now this is turning into a review of the Broadway musical, so
anyway. But that's one great thing about the Diamond edition of the Blu-ray. It goes in, that's a huge part of this. One thing that I absolutely adored about this Blu-ray edition is a lot of the bonus features were all geared and celebrating the animators, which doesn't really happen.
No.
And it's just so sad because these are the people who put their heart and soul into this for 2 years, and just, wow.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was just, everything worked with this. Tim Rice and Elton John and then Hans Zimmer, and like these names were all young at that time, but they are the top names. Well, I mean, Tim Rice and Elton John weren't young, but the rest of them were just
little saplings.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so cool.
And they grew. And basically the reason they're big today is because of The Lion King.
Oh, totally.
I'm saying it.
Say it. It's true. So one of the features that I actually just really loved, and I didn't think or know that I would, like you always are wondering, like, what type of a feature? Are they just trying to like pack this full of crap, or are they like packing this with something cool? And the thing that I loved about it was bloopers and outtakes. Basically, they took the bloopers and outtakes from the audio recordings, and then they animated them. And so you have the funniest things. So you have James Earl Jones who's doing Mufasa, and he's just talking about, he's like, I'll get there in a second, just like, it's just a lot of things that you're like, what? And you've got Mufasa standing there just kind of like, you gotta get down in there, you know, be able to get that big roar out there. So it's so funny, and they do a lot of these, and it's just, everyone has their own little thing that happens that they were able to animate these things. It's totally worth it, totally way more entertaining than I thought it would be.
That is effort, okay? That is how you make a bonus feature. You take something that's maybe a little old and you make it new. This is something no one had seen before. Those bloopers existed.
Yeah.
So let's just put them out there.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Make them awesome.
So in this there are deleted scenes, and that's always fun to see. You get to see the storyboards, or, you know, even sometimes unfinished animation, but usually at this point they get cut before it even gets to that. And then there's an extra scene, which around this time of the Platinum editions, they like to throw in these extra scenes. Beauty and the Beast did it, and Lion King did it. It has to do, it stems from the Broadway musicals, where there are certain songs in the Broadway musicals after these films were released that are kind of popular, so they're like, let's throw that back in.
It's like how people do it, please don't.
So The Morning Report. So in the film, The Morning Report is very short. In the musical, it's a whole song, and so they bring it back as an extended scene. I'll let you see how you like it or not. It's fun, but it's not the original.
No, I like the original. Prior to The Lion King it was just this really, really long making of, but also flashback, that's they got all of the original animators together, and they had little
plus,
always a plus, and then they got a couple of the voice actors, Nathan Lane and what's his name?
Matthew McConaughey?
No, Matthew Broderick.
Oh.
Wrong Matthew, but sure.
We gotta start doing more bloopers in the movies.
And then they just had a bunch of the directors and then the producers, and they even brought in Jeffrey Katzenberg as part of this, which is like...
How did you get that?
Yeah. I guess this is one of those things, like he kept talking about this was just such... It had a very special place in his heart, and so that's one of the reasons why he came back to do it, I guess. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Big deal.
You got the president... You basically got the founder of a competing studio coming back to do a bonus feature of all things. Yeah, that's how you know your movie's epic.
Yeah, it was definitely probably my favorite one. One of those that I'm like, I'm gonna go back and watch this. This also goes in and talks about the Broadway experience and talks about how cool the Broadway show is, and it's just on and on and on. Awesome.
Then of course there's the sing-along mode. They love to have this, you know, version of the movie where you can sing along and join in the fun. So, yeah, at least it's not karaoke. Or karaoke. Or marioke. Which, actually, I like those. Those are actually pretty cool. And of course, we have the classic DVD featurettes, which those, a lot of work was put into those, and so I'm glad they don't forget them and just say, shoo, shoo. They just keep adding and packing it on. So that's why this is better than the Platinum Edition. It is the Diamond Edition.
Everything you wanted and more. All in all, this is definitely going to get 5 stars as a movie because it was 5 stars. And then also 5 stars as a Blu-ray because they packed this full. I mean, just the bloopers. The bloopers! It was great!
Alright guys, thanks for watching our review of the Lion King Diamond Edition Blu-ray. Let us know in the comments below what you think of this movie, and if you could have a magic wand and make one bonus feature, what would be a new bonus feature you would put on the Ruby Edition that's coming out in 5 years? Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Chelsea.
And you're watching
the Rotoscopers YouTube.